Part 1. The Spell of a Stranger. The cold morning mist wrapped around the quiet train station like a ghostly embrace. The dim yellow lights flickered against the fog, barely illuminating the old wooden benches and the occasional traveller waiting for their train. Alexander sat on one of those benches, his fingers stiff from the cold as he turned the pages of his newspaper. He had an important day ahead, a medical examination, the final step before he could enter the Army's medical service. A path of honour, discipline and dedication awaited him, and yet, for some reason, his mind was restless. As he flipped another page, something pulled his attention away from the inked words. A woman. She sat a few benches away, wrapped in a deep maroon coat, her delicate hands resting on her lap. The way the soft curls of her golden brown hair cascaded from her beret made her look like a portrait of elegance. Her almond-shaped hazel eyes, framed by long lashes, scanned the station impatiently, as if she were waiting for something or someone. The fog swirled around her like an artist's stroke on a canvas. There was something mesmerizing about her presence, something ethereal, as if she didn't belong to the ordinary world. Her lips, full and tinted with a natural rose hue, were slightly parted as she breathed into her gloved hands to keep them warm. Alexander's heart did something it had never done before. It skipped a beat. He tried to focus back on the newspaper, but the words blurred into nothingness. His eyes betrayed him, stealing glances at her again and again. He had never seen such grace before, never felt this kind of inexplicable pull toward a stranger. But then she noticed him. Her gaze met his, and in an instant, she looked away, turning her face to the other side. The unspoken rejection stung more than it should have. He suddenly felt embarrassed. Was he saying too much? Had he made her uncomfortable? Before he could dwell on it further, the station speakers crackled, announcing that the train would be delayed. The momentary distraction gave him an excuse to shift his focus back to the newspaper, but it was hopeless. His thoughts were no longer his own. They revolved around her presence, her beauty, the way she carried herself. A few minutes passed before he mustered the courage to steal another glance, but she was gone. His heart sank. He quickly scanned the platform. Maybe she had just moved to another seat. Maybe she was standing somewhere nearby. But no, she had disappeared into the mist like a dream fading upon waking. Disappointment settled heavily on him. He regretted everything, his hesitation, his silence. If only he had spoken, even just a simple hello. Now she was gone, and with her this strange, wonderful feeling she had stirred within him. Sighing, he tried to push her out of his mind. Focus, Alexander. Your dream is to serve in the medical corps, not chase strangers in train stations. His stomach rumbled, breaking the weight of his emotions. Deciding to grab a quick breakfast, he headed toward the small cafe on the platform. The scent of fresh coffee and warm croissants filled the air, offering a temporary comfort. He ordered a coffee and a buttered baguette and turned around to find a seat. And then, there she was. Standing at the counter, adjusting her coat and reaching for her cup, completely unaware of his presence. His heart leaped in relief and disbelief. She's here. Alexander tried not to look too obvious. He needed to find a seat, needed to act normal. But as he stood there, caught between decisions, he closed his eyes for a second and whispered a silent prayer. God help me, I don't want to lose her again. And just as he finished his silent plea, splash. Something warm and wet soaked through his coat, burning his skin beneath. He gasped, jolting back in surprise. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. The voice. It was her. He looked down, coffee dripped from his coat onto the floor. His stunned eyes traveled up, meeting her panicked, apologetic expression as she frantically tried to balance her bags, her coat, and the half-empty cup in her hands. Did I burn you? Oh no, I really didn't mean to, she continued, her voice laced with genuine concern. For a second, Alexander forgot about the coffee, forgot about everything. It was the first time he had truly heard her voice, and it was just as enchanting as he imagined. Soft musical with a hint of urgency. He couldn't help it, his lips curled into a smirk. Well, I did pray for a blessing, he muttered under his breath. What? She asked, tilting her head slightly. Oh, nothing, it's okay, really. She wasn't convinced. No, it's not. Look at you, you're completely drenched in coffee. It's just coffee. I'll live. Her brows knitted together in guilt. No, you should clean up. Go to the washroom before it stains. He wanted to refuse, wanted to tell her that this moment was more precious than any coat, that he didn't want to leave her sight again. But before he could protest, the cafe staff and even a few other passengers joined in. He's right, young man, you should wash it off. Better clean it before the stain sets. Under so much pressure, he finally sighed in surrender. But before heading to the washroom, he stole one last glance at her, afraid that she would vanish again. She caught his gaze, then, to his surprise, she gave him a small smile and gestured toward the washroom. Go, I'll wait. That simple assurance sent a warmth through him that had nothing to do with the coffee. Still, doubt plagued him as he cleaned himself up. What if she leaves? What if this is it? He rushed back out, scanning the cafe. She was gone. His heart dropped again. He sat back in his seat, staring at the empty space where she had been. Regret gnawed at him. But then his eyes landed on something. A small, elegant handbag rested beside her previous seat. His breath caught in his throat. She was still here. Following his instinct, he scanned the cafe and finally spotted her at the counter, ordering another coffee. A wave of relief washed over him. She returned to the table a moment later, setting the coffee down and sitting across from him. "How's your coat?" she asked. The way she casually sat there, speaking to him as if they had known each other for years, made his heart stutter. "It's fine," he managed to say. "You sure?" she pressed. "You no burns?" "Nothing serious." She nodded, smiling softly. A bit. For the first time, he found himself having an actual conversation with her. No names were exchanged, no formalities, just the warmth of their presence lingering between them. Then the speakers crackled again. "Attention passengers, the train to Marseille will be arriving in 10 minutes. "Oh," she said, looking slightly disappointed. "That's my train." His heart skipped again. Mine too. "Which coach?" He told her, but hers was different. A pang of sadness struck him. This wasn't meant to last. "Well," she said, gathering her belongings, "guess I should go." He wanted to stop her, to say something meaningful. "I like you. You're the dream I never knew I had." But the words froze in his throat. "Bye, then," she said, turning away. "Bye," he whispered back. She took a few steps, but then turned around. "By the way," she said with a teasing smile, "I really am sorry about the coffee." He grinned. "Don't be. It was the luckiest coffee I've ever had." And with that she walked away, leaving him with only a lingering warmth of her presence and the longing to see her again. To be continued.